Okay, guys, so we are coming back here for Games 2 of the JDL Asia Division 1's game, Myth against Titan. Titan here being the, oh, looks like Co-Caster Meta is on. You there, buddy?
Hello there.
Hey,
yes,
man.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you absolutely fine. That's awesome.
10
Um,
seconds to go.
Cool, alright, wicked. So yeah, we just saw the first game.
5 seconds.
It was that heavy summon, heavy aura, I almost want to say pub stomp tactic there from Myth.
Dire team
Um,
ban.
What did you think of that game? Because you were watching, right?
Yeah, I mean it was a very interesting game, and you were correct. I mean, with Nature's Prophet, with Enchantress, that heavy push lineup, it was really good. It was working for them. The big problem is kind of one team. Once the Nature's Prophet was down, once the Lycan was down, Titan were just able to counter push and melt those towers, and yeah, it was very surprising to see them just kind of going for the tier 4, the ancient protection, rather than even taking racks, because they realized that they just have to end it at this stage.
Yeah, I think that was an amazing
They
call.
held on till that stage of the game. Yeah, and I mean the Spectre was a great pickup for them as well, because he does have that global presence where he can be farming one lane and in worst case scenario, whatever it is, then ult and appear, use his haunt, and
Oh, sorry,
it was
Murray.
a great pickup for them.
Sorry, I might just have. Let me quickly check some audio things. I think it might cut you off when I do this, but it'll only be a sec. Yep. Okay. Cool. Sorry. All good. All good. Yeah, I totally agree. Like when I saw that lineup coming, I was just like, I'm not sure that Myth will get away with this. I think Titan would have benefited from a lot more AOE. But that said, even just a Mjolnir or something on someone. But I knew it was going to be a fun game when you see. You know, this is like Warcraft 3 again. You've actually got whole armies marching across the map. I love it. And Myth this time coming straight out with the Nature's Prophet ban. What's up with that? Oh, Meta, you there? Meta? Oh dear.
Hello.
Oh, hey, you alright?
Hello.
You alright? I can hear you.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, cool.
Fantastic. As I was saying, Nature's Prophet is one of the greatest split pushers of the game, so, you know, if you're not going to pick him up, that's a good ban for them. You don't want to kind of be distracted from team fights or having to protect towers, just like we saw Myth did in the last game, where you had Nature's Prophet just send his treants in and took the top racks, while everyone else was distracted, basically. Yeah, in terms of the other bans, an OD ban, it's always, I mean, he's a great hero, team fighter.
He's great against Invoker.
His aura is amazing. Yes, brilliant against Invoker with his intelligence heal. Stops any people like Invoker or even the Storm Spirit from casting anything, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it seems that Myth have a plan and they banned the OD because they don't want their Invoker to be interrupted.
I seem to remember that the first bans coming out from Titan in the last game were Batrider and Invoker. So I'm wondering if that affected Myth's choices here, because you know the first Titan bans this time were Batrider and AA, so maybe they were thinking, alright, well they don't like the Invoker, we can do that, let's ban the OD, let's pick that up as a kind of very strong ganky mid.
There is a second counter towards the Invoker, which is a Silencer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're going to run an Invoker mid, you really don't want to pick him up first, because, yeah, I mean, in this case the OD is banned, but they can still pick up the Silencer, and that will kind of disrupt whatever the Invoker is building, whether it was Exord, Quas, or Wex, in terms of being able to join in team fights, Tornado, EMP, all of these abilities rely on being able to cast them in quick successions, and if you're silenced for 5 seconds, then you have no utility in those team fights, basically.
Yeah, that's absolutely. I mean, I do think Silencer is less of an Invoker counter these days, given that it's all Quas Wex initiated, so you know it's kind of, if you can get Cold Snap off, then you're just going to try and right click. So yeah, I mean, Silencer very strong. Yeah. I've picked Silencer against an Invoker recently in one of our King of the Hill games. It did not go well for us. So certainly there'll be a skill element there as well. But I agree with you. I think naturally players of equal skill, Silencer would be the counter that Titan want to look for here. I'm wondering if Myth will ban him.
Yeah. And interesting pickups from Titan as well. I mean, they picked the Alchemist first, and I'm just wondering whether that's going to be a support alk, which you kind of were talking about last game where he got banned, because naturally you really don't want to pick up your hard carry first to get counted. So I'm wondering if they're going to be running this alchemist as a support alchemist. And their other pick is a Darkseer. I mean, Darkseer, great solo offlaner, isn't he, Grumble?
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. What I find quite strange is Darkseer as well. I see as quite a good. I don't know. He's not someone I would generally just pick up myself. I would pick it up if I was looking to run an aggressive tri-lane and counter a heavy carry that Myth had picked up, who didn't have a huge amount. Like, Darkseer is a little bit situational for me, so I'm a little bit surprised at that, but it is an absolutely amazing pick.
It's true, but he's an incredible hero. I mean, if you have any type of AoE team fight, I mean, that vacuum on a radius of 550 does a huge thing. I mean, it kind of brings a whole team together, and whether you're lining up anything with that, whether it was a Kunkka ghost ship, whether it was
even just a Sven stun.
Yeah, that vacuum is amazingly powerful when it kind of gets to the game if you're able to land it. And like, I mean, a Darkseer early game Iron Shell, that's a lot of harass that you can get on a melee farm carry. And you do push out the wave quite quickly, and he can just stand back, get his levels, get his farm through the Iron Shell, and becomes a great kind of semi-support, semi-utility hero at that stage as well. So,
yeah,
you know, it will be interesting to see whether they're going to run him in the solo, safe lane, off lane, or what kind of they're planning to do with him at this stage.
Yeah, I'll be very interested to see what these next pickups are. I think Titan maybe want to absolutely stomp this game. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting. You know, as I said before, like they don't have too much on the line here because the top 4 positions are all going through to the finals. They're currently at the top, and I don't think they're going to get pushed down to 5th. That being said, I think they felt a little bit like, that last game we almost got stomped in a way we should be able to counter better than that. Let's just go with our A game, because that's the vibe I'm getting from their picks so far. Because also Alchemist and Darkseer, they're not. It's not the same pushing strategy that Myth just ran. It's not summons and auras and just overwhelming them with sheer numbers. But they're both very good pushers with Acid Spray, Ion Shell, Surge. I think we could see.
I think a big part of the Darkseer is he's able. If he's running in the offlane and he's iron shelling, he's able to create that space for your farm carry. Because any rotations that happens, that means that Darkseer will be able to push out that tier 1. So if you're kind of rotating supports to get a gank, and the gank doesn't work successfully, you've lost a tier 1. And that means that you're going to be defending on a kind of a tier 2s, and that allows the people with the Darkseer the utility to be able to farm their hard carry in a kind of a safe environment without having to worry about much. The bans are quite interesting as well. I mean, another ban for a Lone Druid by Myth. I don't know whether that's a targeted ban or not, because they did the same thing last game, didn't they?
I think it is. I think what they're slightly afraid of at the moment is Titan's got a great team in terms of heavy carry, it's got a great offlaner, it's got a great support, but they also do have the potential for a great deal of push. And I think Myth are more scared of that. I mean, what we haven't seen is a silencer ban, and as we said, that would be the natural mid pickup for Titan. So they've definitely got a definite plan about wanting to ban out the Chen and the Lone Druid.
They might even not be worrying about the Invoker. I mean, with kind of BKBs on the hard carries and the Shadow Demon Disrupt, if he manages to land it before Invoker kind of lands his combo, that is very much kind of taking out the utility of the Invoker.
Absolutely.
Bans, I mean, Titan ban out the Doom and the Enchantress, which is, I mean, that's a jungler here, and the Doom is a very good hard carry kind of.
Yeah, and a great counter to Alchemist as well, because, you know, of course it cancels passives, it cancels items. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying Alchemist versus Doom is something that Doom would necessarily win, but certainly having Doom on Alchemist makes killing him a lot less of a scary prospect. Also, quick favour, Meta, could you do me a favour during this match? Because I don't have a second monitor, but the chat has actually taken off, so second monitor is now major priority. I can't look away because it'll move what we're looking at, but if you could
into the chat and on Twitch, if you'd
yeah, that would be great.
To kind of keep an idea on what people are saying.
Yeah.
So that's not going to be a problem.
People watching, we love that you're watching. I will try and make sure that you can get in on us. Looks like the Razor's been picked up. What are they doing? Is it going to be a Razor mid and then a hard carry Alchemist with Shadow Demon and another support? Is it going to be a Razor hard carry with Shadow Demon and Alchemist support? Either of those would work. But what do you think if it does end up being Razor versus Invoker? Because I can see that working quite well.
Seconds to go.
For Titan, I mean.
Yes,
5, 7,
as I was saying as well, I'll keep an eye out on the Twitch account to see what people are saying and update you every now and then, so that's not going to be a problem.
I think you might just have had the same thing I did. Going to the Twitch account means that you can't hear what's being said in game, so we'll keep that in mind as well. But yeah, what would you think about Razor versus Invoker if it does end up with that being the mid lineup?
I mean, I think. Well, I mean, you'll get to see some harass from Razor, especially with his plasma field, because that can clear out creep waves. It does quite a bit of damage as well. I don't know whether they're gonna be running Razor at mid. I think they might be running Razor in the safe lane to farm.
Yeah, I was wondering about that as well.
Because I mean, Razor kind of with his ult, with Eye of the Storm, whether you get an Axe, whether you get a Skadi, with his static link, I mean, he really doesn't need that many damage items because his static link gives him the damage. You know, damage drain rate per second, it's at 7, 14, 21 and 28, and it lasts for 8 seconds. So, you know, you're draining a lot of damage if you're chasing people around with a static link on.
Yep.
So,
and of course he does get that movement speed as well, so Invoker's Ghost Walk, if they pick up dust so they can see him, they'll be able to keep up with him.
Yeah. And Ghost Walk doesn't really cancel static link, so he could just like kind of try to chase him around slightly blindly when it comes to that.
Yeah.
I mean, Myth's lineup is quite interesting as well. I mean, they have a reliable stun Sand King, they have a Leshrac with his Diabolic Edict, which can push towers, Split Earth, which is a stun as well, Nyx Assassin with Impale, with Vendetta, Invoker as well. I mean, it seems that Myth's lineup is slightly gank orientated, while Titan's lineup is more kind of let's sit back, let's farm up for a while.
Absolutely, yeah.
Kind of early game, the Darkseer doesn't have that much utility. He does need his level, he does need his farm before he can do anything really. The fifth pickup is going to be Juggernaut, so that means I think
Juggernaut safe lane carry.
Be a support Alchemist.
Yeah, Juggernaut safe lane carry, Razor mid, Shadow Demon Alchemist support, Darkseer off lane. I think Myth
and this is
need to pick up a heavy carry here, right? I mean,
very much, yeah. This is very much a mid-game lineup from Titan. I mean, Razor and Juggernaut can be made into late-game carries, but their biggest utility comes from mid-game. And you have a pick up from mid. I did not expect that.
I did not expect that either. Although being said, you know, when you've got a lot of, we are going to have a bit of a lag on your voice here at the moment, just so you know, Meta, just because when people are picking heroes, everything slows down. But I think mine comes through alright, so I'm going to risk it. Come on, Titan, pick your heroes. I think Weaver can do great if he's got a lot of stuns in lane. That's what's making me think that might be viable. You know, what Weaver hates is lockdown. He wants to be able to get away, he wants to be able to nip in and out. If he can actually just sit back and hit you, he's dangerous. He's really dangerous, especially if he's being built as a farm carry. I'm wondering whether we're going to see him not rush Lincoln's first, you know, maybe get the Perseverance and then get some damage items. Because I think that would mean that they could then tear holes through whatever that ends up running against.
As I was saying, it's a very, very ganky lineup, and I mean, who's chasing people down when they're in low health than the Weaver with his Shikuchi? I don't think there is anyone that can do that as well as the Weaver. So it will be really, really interesting to see how he farms, what he gets, and what time he gets them at. Compared to the Juggernaut, who basically won't have as much lag down. He can't ult, he can't use his Omni Slash when there are creeps around, because their utility is cut, basically.
Oh wow,
so
but
it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
Just have a look at these lanes. I mean, assuming that this isn't just supports roaming at the start of the game, it's actually going to be an aggressive tri-lane, with Nyx taking the carry role, I suppose you'd want to say, and then follow that up with the other two reliable / semi-reliable stuns. Very interesting, and we'll have Solo Weaver being played by Zedku up on the top. So they're not, so that, okay, scratch that, it probably will be a Lincoln Sphere Weaver, because he's going to want to take advantage of that and just get all the gold he can. Oh no, but there go the supports.
I think it's going to be a big problem.
They're rotating top,
if you do Shikuchi next to an Iron Shell, you will take damage from the Iron Shell still. So, I mean, that might be what they wanted intentionally, but you can see a lot of scribbling happening around, so they're seeing the tri-lane and they might decide to switch it around, but
I don't think they're going to be running duels, so I think Sanking is going to rotate in a moment. Juggernaut going to pick up that illusion rune. Interesting kit from him on KYXY's Juggernaut. That's very interesting kit.
No, that's completely fair. I mean, the support tends to pick them up so they can do a bit of more harassing rather than anything. So.
Oh yes, here it comes.
Yeah,
Static Link immediately. Now Shadow Demon Illusion's coming up. They're going to try. They're actually going to be able to tank a lot of the tower damage for Razor. Let him get invoked down to about half health. Whereas he took a lot less harass from
within
that.
Within a few seconds, that's 42 damage that Razor has.
Invoker.
And look at Invoker's at
currently
41 minus 33.
Currently hitting for 8. Poor guy. Like, what do you? How do you even deal with that? On the up on the off lane, looks like Titan Oi on Titan is trying to disrupt what looks like a dire chain pull. Oh yeah, but he does disrupt it. Very good job from him. They're not going to be able to get that. The lane's going to push out a little bit more. And in fact, they're going to get the Dire are going to MITH are going to get a bit of a creep bulge here, because these two waves are actually going to join up almost perfectly. So now they've got, what is that, 5 melees, 2 ranged? That is going to push it right down to Darkseer.
And I really like this ward right here from coming out of the Dire side, simply because Darkseer is one of those characters that is supposed to stand back and just sap XP while his Iron Shell does the job. So this ward means that they know when he's in range of XP, when they can push him back, where exactly he's standing and how much he's sapping. Look, I mean, they know that he's kind of rotating, trying to sap XP from the jungle. And, you know, they're trying to shut him out as best as possible, because if you can shut out either the gold or the XP that Darkseer has, he will lose a lot of his utility.
Absolutely. Next, picking up an Invis rune here. Would you mind just checking the chat quickly as well? Just wondering if there's anything going on there. Seemed quite active last match. Nick's picking up an Invis rune. I'm not sure whether he's going to be able to do anything with it against a tri-lane, other than scout, and here he is sapping XP. But I mean, that's still very, very useful for him. You know, his problem is going to be if the Titan supports can actually force him to be out of lane the entire time, so he doesn't get levels. He sees Net there on the Alchemist going off for a little bit of, I want to say, solo farm, possibly chain pulling, or just stacking the creeps for the later carries. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens there. The Invis wore off. Net now knows he's there. The stack has been disrupted, and yeah, I guess that's mission successful. He's also gained some decent levels. But if we have a look at XP per minute, Nyx has been shut down quite severely. He's doing a little bit better than the supports on the Radiant, which isn't good. Juggernaut is just getting total free farm, and that's KYXY on Jug, so you don't want to be messing around.
Yeah. Oh, we see a nice rotation with the Nyx here. They might try to go on this Razor. He is overextended because he keeps trying to static link. Oh, and there's
there it is.
Snap. There's the Impale.
And he's down, and it's Invoker getting the first blood. That will be very, very useful for him. Anything going on in the chat? Oh my gosh! It's not Quaswex Invoker. It's not Quaswex Invoker. It's Quas Exhort. It's Cold Snap, Stun Strike,
it's
Stun Strike Invoker.
It's an Exhort Quas Invoker. Get the name right.
You really say, I don't play Invoker, you say Exhort Quas, not Quas Exhort, even though it's the order?
No, it's Exhort Quas, because the first point that you normally take, you take it in Exhort.
Right, okay.
To give you that extra damage first.
You Invoker players with your strange naming strategies and such.
We can see the massive push coming out of Titan here.
Dyer's bottom tower.
To take the tier 1.
I mean, this is what I said. You know, Alchemist is a great pusher if you're leveling up Acid Spray, which is exactly what he's doing.
Dyer's bottom tower is under siege.
Dyer looking to get off a counter gank mid, but sorry, not a counter gank, looking to get another kill off on the Razor. I think they're going to manage it. He's playing cautious, and the dust has worn off. Yep, they've been spotted out. He's going to have to back off. So yeah, Meadow, are you here? What's going on in the chat? How are the lovely grumblings doing?
Dyer's bottom tower is being attacked.
What I'm thinking is when he's in the chat, he can't hear me.
Dyer's bottom tower is under siege.
And I'm asking him how things are going in the chat. Just every moment he can't hear me. Hey, you there, man? Nope. Oh well. Big push here going on from Dyer as well. One thing I would say is, yeah, Weaver's been doing a little bit of kind of moving around, trying to get hits. I think he should have been concentrating on farming, because he needs an awful lot of that in order to be useful. Beautiful rotations though, there from MITH are going to enable him to go 2 for 1 against that push. Oh, Bizu, run, Bizu, run! There he is. Good job from him there. So yeah, I mean, it's tricky to say. Titan they got the tier 1 down. That's a whole lot of gold early game for their entire team. Did go 2 for 1. Meta, I cannot hear you. Hold on, wait.
Dyer's top tower is
Oh,
under attack.
hello, Meta, you there? Oh, breaking up. Let me just see if I can
Dyer's top tower is
fix this
under
meta
siege.
problem slightly. See if that improved things at all. Not really sure what's going on here, but here we go. We've got four Titan heroes coming up to the top. They want to get a tier 1 down as well.
Dyer's top
Sorry, a
tower
tier
is
1
under
down.
siege.
Yeah, they just want to keep pushing, I suppose. Oh, Meta, are you there? You're coming through a little bit more. I'm hearing bits and bobs.
Dyer's top tower is being attacked. Dyer's top tower has fallen.
Over mic and
I
everything's going.
think you should be able to
Oh, there we
hear
go.
me by now.
Yes, I can hear you now. That's the
Yeah?
first. That's the clear
Wonderful.
thing. How you doing?
I'm doing alright. Yeah, I apologise I missed some of this, but yeah, as you were mentioning, I was with you all the time. I was listening to what you were saying, so
Good.
that was an interesting. I mean, they sacrificed a tier 1 and a tier 2, which is like a really bad idea to do, because I mean, you could see big rotations coming out now from Titan as well, because they have a comfortable lead when it comes to towers.
Yeah, and they've got so much space. How's the chat going? Anything interesting happen?
No, just everyone's watching, everyone's saying things, and like, I mean, if you look at the difference in gold and XP, it's
Oh,
about,
beautiful kill there from Alchemist. Sorry, just quickly, this is something I was going to mention, but and should have done, because then I could have said, oh yeah, called it. Shadow Demon Alchemist is an amazing combo, because you know you can pop Alchemist stun, you can disrupt them, and then Alchemist can just sit there in perfect safety, waiting for the disruption to wear off, and as soon as it does, chuck in the stun. Yep, they're going to go for the exact same combo now.
they're gonna go.
Oh, and there's the stun.
Oh, and they stuck a sentry down.
They did. Oh, and they're going to get him with the wave there. I mean, you're exactly right. It's because they've got all those towers down. They've now got so much space to just set up ganks with the supports, take out whoever they want. TNK going to take a
look at
poison
this. I
wave.
mean, they're kind of really residing in the Dire jungle. I mean, that is their living space at the moment. They're farming the Dire jungle. They've warded it completely. They have a lot of aggressive warding out. And yeah,
I've got a question, by the way.
catching out.
Yep, excellent job. I'm just expecting to see this constantly. Oh, although here we go. We've got Invoker coming in from the other side. Their TP gets disrupted by Sand King. Sunstrike is actually unnecessary. Net, though, might be in a little bit of trouble. He's got Iron Shell on him. But he does have
his ult on.
Oh,
He does
KYXY's
have
here.
backup from Juggernaut as well.
Yeah, no, he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
So Net is able just to kind of walk out, because again, I mean, an Alchemist support, especially with that ult, especially with the level of regen it gives him, it becomes very durable. And as you were saying, he's able to get his farm from anywhere on the map, so it's not going to be a problem for him.
Absolutely. I think this is an interesting game. I think Titan. what I love about these games is they've kind of been a great just exercise in basic game principles. Like last game was a perfect example of why why heavy pushing lineups can work if done right, because it went so well for Myth early game, but also how they can go wrong if you don't finish late game, because they ran into that problem with Titan's late game. And this game is just
so much.
this is a perfect example to show why you don't really want to give away.
Oh, and Juggernaut might get ganked here.
Oh, top lane. Gotcha.
Pills,
Yep.
Sunstrike is down. Oh, but he spins out.
Yep. It's a Blade Fury TP. OP. Nothing you can do. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, like, the Leshrac was late with his Split Earth, and I guess they couldn't land any more than that. And yeah, I mean, like, look at how much space that they have to be able to farm whoever they want to.
Invoker gonna go down there to a nice gank from Razor and Alchemist.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. I hope that's part
Yeah,
of
and now they're pressuring the mid, and look, I mean, the Alchemist is just taking all the harass from the tower and completely ignoring it, because he has his ult on. He has so much regen, he can do that.
He's got his ult, he's got Iron Shell.
Dire has fortified its structure.
Yeah, now he changed the harass to a creep, but yeah, he just...
They're gonna keep pushing with this. I mean, KYXI still has a level 2 ward to throw up, plus his ult. I think they could be a little bit more aggressive here.
The Omnislash is still available, they have the drums, everyone's full on mana, their health regen is fine. I think they should be able to push this quite nicely.
Absolutely.
And, I mean, Myth are completely out of position at the moment. They're completely ignoring the mid tier 2, and you see the Weaver
we got a gank coming down onto Razor here. BZ managing to land off his... There's a Sunstrike to come in and secure as well.
Shikuchi.
There's a DD rune. Weaver's going to pick it up and probably just one... Oh no, not quite one hit kill the Razor there, but excellent job. I suppose that's...
is overextended now compared to his team.
Yeah, I mean...
Going down. Is he going to go down for the double damage?
I think he could have done there if Weaver had chased him, but Weaver is... Sorry, Keizo is choosing to take a much longer route to chase down the Shadow Demon, then getting disrupted. Strange. I think they could have got, especially with the DD rune. I think they could have got him there. The rest of the Dire team is coming in as well. I'm quite surprised at that.
And I mean, look at that. They have all of their 2-1s standing, so they really don't have to kind of back up that far away. Anyway, KYXY with the Iron Shell on a Z as a Juggernaut, he's just kind of pushing, farming these creeps quite comfortably, and you know, it's not a problem. Now they're pushing the 2-2 mid. I think they might be committing to this.
I think they might be, yeah.
Considering the fact that the Weaver,
I like the way they're playing that actually. They're making sure that they deal with the creep wave quite far ahead, so that their own creeps have a higher chance of staying aggroed on the tower. And even now, even with Invoker coming in again to try and pull the Radiant creep wave off, they've still got a ranged creep.
I think they've pretty much abandoned it, because you know the Sand King is farming the bot lane for the Dire, the Weaver is farming top lane, and they really can't defend this 3 against 5, not with the lineup that Titan have at the moment.
Wow, one plasma field there gets Leshrac down to almost half health. This is, as I said, I think Titan felt a little bit, right, let's stop messing around, let's pick absolute stompers, and stompers are what they have. They're going to go up. Unfortunately, it's Weaver that they catch out, and Shikuchi. Very, very good escape
I'd like
mechanism.
to say what's really interesting, which I just noticed, is NWP on Titan at the moment does not have his ult, and he's level 9. He might just get ganked here. Is he going to get ganked? No, and Darkseer is for the save. Shadow Demon disrupts him.
Beautiful job there. Nice and damage coming in on the Nyx, and
Nyx is down now.
That's the kill. We're talking Razor. Well, I can kind of see that as a strategy. I mean, they've definitely been playing him as like just shut up, sit back, and farm.
Yeah.
His whole.
I mean, it's just unusual because I haven't seen many Razor pickups on pro matches recently, and I mean, yeah, you need to max out the static link, the plasma field. That causes a lot of damage to people like Sand King, Leshrac, and Nyx as well. Oh, and they're setting up another gank. Are they going to catch the Sand King? Alchemist really wants it.
Beautiful,
beautiful
split earth there from Shadow Demon. I think that's going to be what saves Sand King's life, because Alchemist could have chucked a stun in there, no problem. Weaver getting caught out behind enemy lines is going to have to run down to bot rune in order to loop around and get out. I find that quite funny. Oh Weaver, why you do this?
Just the Weaver is like, I mean, Weaver's effectiveness doesn't come till after he farmed a damage item, after he's gotten his Lincoln Sphere, which is an already expensive item. And it seems that he does have his perseverance, which is good, but he... Oh, they're going on this? Are they going to get the kill? Yeah.
Oh,
kill.
sorry, I missed that. I had
there.
the...
So much damage coming out. Yeah, it was so much damage from the Impale, from the Burrow Strike, and then a Sunstrike as well on top of that. Yeah, as I was saying, I mean, the Weaver does need his farm, and he can't be effective till he farms a damage item, which in a lot of games he doesn't do till he got his Lincoln Sphere. So, you know, he's a kind of a late mid-game player, and
while at the same time he's not a very late game player. Yeah.
Yeah, he really needs to farm up that Lincolns, and he really needs to do it as quickly as he can, because he's getting to that stage where he needs to become effective. He needs to start doing damage, and they need to push some of these towers down. Yeah,
I mean, I think in terms of the kind of the division between early and late game, I think MITH's choices were quite strange. You know, I know you were saying, you know, Razor and Jug, both heroes who really reached their peak in mid game, but I do still think that Titan have the better late game here with Razor, with Jug, and you know, you play Alchemist support, you can't help but feeding up better than other supports at the very least. So like he will come online more than say Leshrac in the late game. So after picking an early game lineup and getting trounced late game, in the first match that we just saw, MITH are, they're almost choosing the same thing again. They've like that Weaver pickup. It doesn't give them the late game, so they needed to win the early game, and they haven't been doing that.
Yeah, I mean, especially with someone like the Leshrac with the Diabolical Edict, especially with the Nyx, you really need to get some of these tier 1s down, so you're able to rotate these characters, these gankers, to be able to do their job and gank.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's the Nyx becomes ineffective when he can't rotate into the enemy jungle and gank, and all tier 1s are up, so he can't do that. And even Leshrac's build, I mean, he's just abandoned the idea of maxing out Diabolical Edict to take a tower down. He's just put 3 points in Lightning Storm and 2 points in Split Earth and 1 point into Diabolical Edict.
And also no points in Pulse Nova.
To max it out yet again. To take towers.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Looks like yep, next assassin getting just absolutely destroyed there by Titan. I think their whole tri lane didn't really work. You know, the whole point was we've got a whole load of stuns, we've got reliable stuns.
Look at how much damage Razor is doing at the moment with his ult at level 2, either Storm. 168 damage as well, so he can literally right-click anyone down.
Beautiful play there from Disruptor, managing to disrupt himself to avoid Shikuchi damage. And Weaver harassed. Invoker just getting crushed.
Coming in. It's just
the DPS on Titan.
Are completely melting to that Razor. The damage output on that Razor is absolutely huge, especially with the static link as well.
And they're going for Rosh.
They're going to take Rosh now.
Razor with the gem as well, and like I was saying last game, I didn't really agree with the gem pickups. I do agree with it on this game because Titan are in a position where they're doing a very good job of keeping key heroes alive, and that's only going to improve. And you're up against an Invoker, you're up against a Sand King, you're up against a Nyx, and you're up against a Weaver. They're all squishies. None of them could really carry the gem very effectively if they did get it, in my opinion. I don't think Titan would have much trouble getting it back. Oh, and here it comes.
Comes in with his ult there.
Epicenter, but it's a little bit too early. He's not even able to steal the Rosh. BZ coming in now, trying to get the last hits and get a snatch. Well. Not gonna happen. And Leshrac. Weaver now taking Rosh harass. Razor does go down. But I think, was it Darkseer who grabbed the gem? Yes, Darkseer grabbed the gem. Jug with the Aegis. I mean, well played there from MITH, but that's not what they wanted.
That was a scattered fight. They needed all to be there at the same time, and they went. And that was, I think, I would say, a really, really good epicenter into kind of Burrow Strike in there, but there was nothing to follow it up. There was no kind of damage output, and we even saw when the Weaver went in, he really couldn't do much either, could he? Because he still doesn't have the damage output that he needs to at this stage in the game.
In case you're wondering, they are now farming up Alchemist. They are now farming up the Alchemist.
I mean,
only 1 point in Grievel's Greed,
as
though.
you were saying, and
It's going to be tricky.
but the thing is as an Alchemist support, once you get to late game, you can farm.
Oh, and they've found Leshrac
with your Acid Blade.
Oh, Sand King. I don't agree with that stun. He blinked in and then stunned just Alchemist rather than just doing a little bit of a move, doing a stun, where he would have caught 2 or possibly 3 of the Titan heroes, and then he could have TP'd out, and that would have been
the
no
Iron
problem.
Shell there from the Darkseer, you could see the huge utility that comes from it. It's just kind of grabbing kills without doing anything because of that Iron Shell.
Yeah. Titan, I think, now in a position to push Rax. They really want to. I mean, Weaver sitting top lane has a TP. He's got Lincoln's up, so that'll help him hugely. I mean, yeah, the game's not over until Rax are down at the very least.
His damage item. Yeah, I mean,
he does, but
he's the Weaver is.
That's next item though.
Radiant's top tower is under siege.
So
here comes Razor. No more gem. No chance of a kill really, but good play. Good play. Chases him off the tower. I mean, like.
We have a look at the graphs though. It's quite interesting in terms of gold difference and earned over 15,000 towards Titan in terms of gold, and in terms of XP, over 7,500. So they're close to 10,000 now, Titan.
Oh really? Oh, XP I've got Titan. The graphs sometimes glitch. XP I've got Titan as probably about 16, 17,000 ahead. I don't. That could be if you disconnected and reconnected to the game. Actually, that might be it. Because it's not showing the stuff that happened earlier than that. But
yeah.
I want to go with my one because I haven't had to disconnect. But yeah, I mean that's.
Let's go with your one if that's the case.
That's
I mean,
15,000
gold. The difference in XP is it's becoming quite huge at the moment. And if you look at the last hits, I mean the Weaver's doing quite well with 102 last hits. He's sitting behind the Jug and the Razor.
Have a look at the net worth.
The net worth is something that I haven't looked at yet.
The net worth is scary here. Oh, Alchemist getting a good stun off with that Lincoln Sphere, really saving the Weaver. Now,
jeez,
these fights are crazy, but gets finished off by an Omni Slash. That was beautiful waiting there by KYXY. You know, it's so hard not to just use Omni Slash too early. It's such an amazing spell, and you're concentrating so hard to try to find times when there aren't creeps around. That when that happens, it's very easy to just think, right, I need to use it now. But that was very intelligent. Waited for Shikuchi and Timelapse to both be off cooldown before he went in.
Yeah, and like as we were saying, I mean, even though this Alchemist is going support and he only had 1 point in Grievel's Raid till the stage of the game, his farm accelerated so much.
Oh, KYXY getting a beautiful blade spin there just to avoid a stun, which would undoubtedly have killed him.
That Blade Fury, effectively, it's just an amazing ability to avoid all of this kind of magic damage, all of these stuns that could get landed on you. You can TP out from it like we saw he did earlier as well, so...
He's calling his team back.
Kind of manic pinging.
Yeah, I think they were trying to back out or head to the shop or something, but he was saying, no. I've got Axe, Omni Slash is off cooldown again, I've got Aegis, I've got another Drums Charge. In fact, the only ult that isn't up is Razor. But his is up in 2 seconds.
And that is up in 2 seconds, yeah.
There's the pipe. The TP's now, we've got Weaver TPing in.
Razor is ulting now. Especially with Ags, that means Tower's getting damaged as well now.
Wow, look at that Rax. It's taking about 100 damage a second. Oh, but beautiful stun there from Sand King.
Epicenter comes in.
Epicenter's done.
Disruption there, though.
Oh, and again with the Omni Slash. That is Weaver's Bane. That's my new name for that move, Weaver's Bane. They're going to finish off these Rax, no problem. GG called from MITH. Well, I mean, I think that first game, massive kudos to MITH. Just for playing a semi-crazy strat and almost having it work and playing it really, really well. But I think it annoyed Titan.
That came out was really, really brilliant. Yeah, and you're right in the sense of it could have annoyed Titan enough for them to turn around and go, let's play seriously here, let's win this game, let's go for something that we're good with.
And a little bit stompy. You know, I mean, Shadow Demon's hard support, but all of the rest of them are you know, I mean, okay, Darkseer can kind of support Alchemist. They were playing as a support, but you know, Alchemist, the only one with a clean sheet. He was going carry towards the end there. He can certainly beef up mid game, and Darkseer is just amazing. Whereas on the MITH side, you had Nyx. Okay, maybe a bit similar to Darkseer, but you also had Sanking. You had Les. You had a lot of supports. All they did was die, get a couple of assists.
Look at the difference in XP and gold per minute. I mean, it's kind of earth and sky, where the gold per minute for the Dire was at max with the Invoker at 343, and that is effectively on par with the Shadow Demon.
Yep.
It's only a difference of 25 gold, and that is the lowest one. And yeah, and you're right, and the Alch, even though it was a support Alch, he's level 14, which is the highest, joint highest level with Razor as well. So that was an amazing game that came out there from Titan. They kind of stomped the game through. They went for mid game, and they won this game kind of completely, basically.
Absolutely, real pleasure. And yeah, there are another couple of matches coming on a little bit further on down the week, so keep an eye out for them. I'll try and post up a schedule at some point. Meta, thanks very much for casting. We'll make sure we don't have those audio issues again, but I don't think it was an issue.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me as well today. It was a pleasure to watch these matches. It was a pleasure to cast with you as well.
Absolute pleasure, man. Cheers for that. And yeah, anybody watching, thank you so much. As I said, second monitor on the way. Then I really want to be able to chat to people while I'm switching, because I'm sure there are a lot of corrections apart from anything else. But yeah, there'll be games later tonight and more pro games later in the week. So see you.